Hello, good morning. I am Abena, Owusu, Nyamekye. You're welcome to Newsroom, live from our studios here at Platinum Heights in Accra. Here are the top stories for this hour. Coalition of bonded and posted qualified graduates from the School of Allied Health Professionals in Kintampo pickets at the Health Ministry over government's failure to provide financial clearance for them. Northern Regional Police Command deploys police personnel with tear gas to the Sanarigu District Assembly ahead of election of Hajia Mariam Idrisu as TCE for the area. In business, Dynamic Youth Movement of Ghana petitions Security and Exchange Commission to investigate the circumstances under which the finance minister allegedly awarded a 2.25 billion bond to Franklin Templeton Investments. And in sports, Arsene Wenger claims first competitive win over Jose Mourinho. On the international front, 39-year-old Emmanuel Macron wins France elections and will be sworn in on Sunday. Thank you for joining us. The coalition of bonded and posted qualified graduates from the School of Allied Health and Sciences have been picketing at the Health Ministry here in Accra. They are angry over government's failure to provide financial clearance for them. The coalition on April 24th this year presented a 6th petition to the Ministry of Health to provide a peaceful negotiation within 2 weeks to resolve their issues, or they would be forced to demonstrate. Let's now go live to the Health Ministry and speak to Della Michelle, who joins us. Della, help us understand, how long has this group been at the Health Ministry today?
Well, Abena, good morning to you. They have been here since 9 a.m. this morning. According to them, they refuse to leave if the ministry does not adhere to their complaints. So they came here, they've met with the director, and the director asked them that they should leave because he's heard their petition and they are going to address the situation soon. But they have refused to go, saying that they have been betrayed by the ministry. They've had subsequent and a lot of dialogue with the ministry. Nothing has been done so far. The first clearance that came out, 7,000 and over, their names were omitted. And the second clearance that came out, 4,000 and over, their names have been omitted again. So rightly, they are not actually happy about what is going on, and they have decided to stay here until the ministry comes to their aid.
I can see you have some of them beside you. Let's get to understand this petition they talk about and who they gave that petition to.
Okay, so with me is the president of the Unposted Bonded Allied Health Professional Graduates, and he is Yeboah Solomon. Solomon, you're welcome to GHOne.
Thank you very much.
So today you are here picketing because the ministry has not adhered to your complaints. Let us know, you've met with the director, he's asked you to leave. What is your action plan?
We met with the PRO, and his word, or what he told us, is what we've been hearing for the past 9 good months. The same assurances, because even before we came here, I called him on phone and we're speaking. And what he told me was, when we come here, it is still the same assurance that he will give to us. So already he has even given us a pre-notice of what he is going to say. So we are aware that we are only coming here for him to give us an assurance. And that assurance is what we heard from the director of the human resource, the minister of health, he himself, Dr. Sabri, the human resource officer, and most people within these premises. We have heard assurance upon assurances. So we are here. We are not going anywhere until our clearance is given to us. It's simple. We are not leaving. That is all.
But in the meeting, Yeboah, he told you that the names have been submitted to the Ministry of Finance for them to receive actually the final clearance from them. So isn't that an insurance enough for you?
This word was said 9 months ago. 9 months. And it is the same word that has been repeated today. So the question is, when is our clearance coming? 9 months ago, the same word was said. your names are with finance. December, we came here, the names are with finance. February, when the first clearance was released, the names were with finance, but were ignored. March, we came here, your names are being worked upon. April, we came here, the names are being worked upon. May, clearance is released just last Thursday, 4th this very month. Our names are excluded. And still you are telling us our names are with finance.
What do you mean?
What are you trying to tell us?
But the PRO made you understand that the group here today are those who failed their exams. That is why you are here.
No student from allied health profession failed his exams and is here. None of them. Because when you pass, they present your name over here. We are 2015, 2016 qualified allied health graduates, comprising College of Health and Wellbeing and School of Dispensing Optics Oyoko. We have gathered here. We have passed our exams 100%, and our council has presented to the council. Our certificates has been held in our various institutions because we are bonded to the government, and until we serve the government for a period of 5 good years, we can't go and work even serve. If you are going to work, you need to even send the certificate. Now you don't have the certificate. How does the government want us to work? The ministry, how do they expect us to go and work? So we are in the house idle. Instead of we turning beneficial to our parents, we've now turned into burdens to them. We are suffering. We are calling on even the Minister of Health to come out to sign our clearance for us to go our way. If the clearance is signed right now,
we will go away. It's
now or never. THE, that will not say, will pass through the same channel we came from, then we'll go home. But until our clearance is released to us, nothing will cause us to leave these promises. Nothing will cause us to move here. We'll sleep here, we'll stay here, we'll do everything here. Because the ministry has been injustice to us. We don't blame the government, because the government has played its part by releasing the clearance. He has released it to us. He released the clearance to be given to health trainees. And we expected that because our names have been with the ministry for over 9 months, our names should be included.
Yes.
So at this moment, we are pleading with His Excellency, Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, wherever he is and his vice, they should set in the clearance that they release. There has been bias in it.
Yes. Yes.
Bias has been included in the clearance.
So Abena, right now, most of the people here, they are very upset, but some of them have their mosquito nets, their pails, their buckets, indicating that they are not ready to live here at all.
All right, thank you very much. Della Michelle joined us from the Health Ministry, where students of the Allied Professional School, they have been picketing, they are graduates actually, of the government's failure to give them their financial clearance. In the studio with me now is the Vice President of the group, Collins Agyemang. Good to have you, Collins. Help us understand, how long have you been out of school?
Okay, we thank you very much for this time. We completed school May 2015.
Okay.
Then did our service. We completed service August 2016.
So what's the normal process like after school and your service? How soon do you expect to be posted?
Roughly 1 month. Roughly 1 month, because in due time, that is what they have been doing. So we were very, very obsessed about the issue, what is happening, because it won't happen that you complete for over 9 months, you'll be in a house depending on your family, taking few money from them, because you are not the only person in the family. So that's a very painful thing. And we are bonded graduate. We were given allowances, 120 million old currency. They gave us allowance every month we completed. We were given internship allowance. We have our payroll. We have our staff ID. We are government bonded graduate. We are still in the house. It's very, very pathetic.
You mentioned that you've sent about 6 petitions.
6.
And who were you having that correspondence with?
Yeah, we're Human Resource and the Chief Director of the ministry. They are aware. Today we showed them the letters, and they all said it is true. The PRO had a crunch meeting with us, and he can't even give us a call date that, okay, we should go home. 1 month time, we will get our document. He said we should just go home. And we have been in a house for 9 months. The most painful thing is that we entered the same institution with our nurses diploma. We entered in the same school 2012, we completed 2015, we completed May, they completed August, we completed our service August 2016, they completed their service just last month, but their names are in, but we are not part, all because we have been having negotiation with them. But we are telling them that we are having negotiations 6 times since last year. You not even listen to us, so it means that we should come and pick it. For that one, you do it for, then we do it.
And so you're taking a cue from the other group.
We are taking it from them because it's our own badge. That the same group, we entered the school 2012, we completed 2015. We finished our service, we are still in the house for 9 months. They completed theirs and they are gone. So what is the meaning of this? So we talked to the PRO and he did not even give us any actual issues on ground. He was telling me we should go home. Yeah, he talked to us and stuff, and we have a negotiation for a very long time.
So now your members are there. What will make you leave the health ministry?
My dear, thank you very much. We are not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere because we don't have anywhere to go. Our family, parents, they are all dependent, saying, I say this and that and that and that. You see our mummies. This person went to this nursing training. He'll be starting work 1st July. Why are you not starting work? Because the nurses are starting work 1st July this year. And we also be in a house getting fuses and always excuses. We are not going anywhere. We are going to sleep there. School made up of 2, College of Health, Kintampo, Brown Hafo, School of Dispensary Optics, Oyoko, 495 unposted graduates. So we are still at the ministry.
So I ask again, what will make you leave? What do you want to hear from them?
The only thing we want to hear is that backing argument, something documental, showing to us that we should go within 2 weeks' time. You will get it. We will go. We will take the sheet, show an evidence to the media because the media were there. GHOne was there. We told them, pointed the PRO. You said this. As a father, we've responded that we'll be going home. But the only thing we want now is that a document that shows that we should go. Maybe 2 months, 2 weeks, even 1 year. We will go home. Then, if the year is up to, we will wait for our postings. So for now, we are just waiting for that.
Okay. Thank you very much,
Thank
Colin
you very
Sajiman.
much. Thank you.
And he is the vice president of the group of unposted nurses that have been picketing at the health ministry this morning. Now, there's a looming cholera outbreak at Parambo Sawaba community in the Pru district of the Brongahafo region. Residents, due to the absence of potable drinking water, drink polluted water from an abandoned water plant.
The water plant, which used to serve the residents of Parambo Sawaba, has been abandoned since 2009. Residents have to struggle with cattle for water after walking for 2 kilometers on a daily basis. According to a resident, many people in the community have died of cholera for about 3 years now due to the intake of the contaminated water. Yusuf Suleiman Badi is the assembly member at Parambo Sawaba.
We walk about 2 kilometers to come and fetch this unwholesome water. We share this same water with livestock. I hope you can see at the background those cattle there. This is where they also take they also drink their water. And this is the same water that the community fetches to the to be used in the house.
The situation has also witnessed an increase in the number of diarrhea cases in the community.
We don't have any potable water here. So that leak, all of us, that is where we have been fetching water. And normally cows do go there to drink water. So that's at 2013. Our statistics, the diarrhea cases, out of the top 10 diseases, we have 785 cases as of 2016.
The outbreak of cholera is imminent in the Parambo Sawaba community if nothing is done about the situation.
We'll stay a while longer in the health sector, this time to some good news. The Accra Psychiatric Hospital has raised over 51,000 Ghana cedis at a fundraising dinner in Accra. The fundraiser, the first of its kind, is in support of the day-to-day running of the facility.
The fundraising dinner, which took place at the Police Social and Fitness Center, received monetary donations from DHC International Ghana Limited, Pantine Hospital, Controller and Accountant General's Department, the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Ghana, as well as the IGP and Police Management Board members. Madam Joyce Ayi of the Salt and Light Ministry also donated a cash amount of 1,000 Ghana cedis. Christopher Autry also donated 2,000 Ghana cedis, and there were others who wished to remain anonymous. The objective of the fundraising event was for the refurbishment and purchase of 4 equipment machines for the Accra Psychiatric Hospital. Various speakers took turns to call for support for quality mental health care delivery in Ghana.
The main thing actually that we are looking for is to get the airline legislative instrument passed, because that will give a more sustainable approach of raising funds. But until then, these are very important ad hoc measures. The hospital is looking at raising 500,000, maybe 500 more. If they're able to raise that, at least some acute needs will be able to be taken care of. Thereafter, you look at rehabilitating some of the structures, and there are a number of structures that are dilapidated. If you go to Pantan, for instance, a lot of uncompleted structures. We need to be able to get all these structures on their feet. Love your relatives when they become mentally ill. Don't stigmatize them. Don't throw them onto the streets. Love them. That's very important. And when they come to the hospital, also come and visit them and pay them the necessary, take care of the necessary expenses that they need to be given.
Salute all those doctors and nurses and staff who go through all these things at great risk to their own lives to look after our brothers and sisters who are not well. And we can only pray that they are safe, and we also put in measures to make sure that their security is guaranteed.
You are watching Newsroom on GHOne TV. In the northern region, the police command has deployed personnel with tear gas to the Sangnarigu District Assembly ahead of a process to confirm the DCE nominee Hajia Mariama Idrisu. The DCE nominee, until recently, was the subject of a raging violent protest from a section of MPP faithful in the region. Let's go over the phone lines now and speak to our northern regional correspondent, Ilyasu Tanko. Ilyasu, I take it security is very tight at the District Assembly, but has the process begun?
The process has just ended. Defying all odds, the DCE nominee, now the DCE for the Anabu district has been confirmed, because she was heavily confirmed. I must say, out of the 33 assembly members, she actually got all. She led the vote. So she had 100% voting here. So as we speak, the voting ended.
Well, that's Ilyasu Tanko giving us that update from the northern region, where we understand the nominee for Sangnarigu District Assembly, Hajia Mariama Idrisu, and she has been confirmed by all the assembly members there. Ilyasu is back on the line. Ilyasu, you were telling us about the figures. You said all the 33 voted for her?
Exactly, Abena. Exactly. Just that as a speaker, heavily security. I could count about 15 policemen, and just now about 7 armed soldiers have arrived. So it's a very tense situation here. And just because perhaps the nomination, the certify you went to vandalizing party installations and burning ties and debris on streets, and so because of that, it appears it has been a hot spot, and the police found it necessary to deploy as many as security men here just to avert any incident happening.
Ilyasu, looking at all the violence that greeted her nomination, I should say, what do you think worked in her favor to get this overwhelming endorsement from the assembly members?
Yes, and I think the incident, I mean, when this youth went on vandalism, there have been a lot of tension between party executives, the nominee herself, and the traditional authorities. So I guess it's due to this intense consultation, I mean, the vigorous begging of these assembly members and party people that made her to be confirmed. But it was very easy. The process did not take much time. It was very easy. All the assembly members went and voted in a favor.
Thank you very much. Ilyasu Tanko is our correspondent in the northern region. Now, President Akufo-Addo has returned home after a 3-day visit of Ghana's neighboring countries. The president visited Togo, Burkina Faso and Cote d'Ivoire. Director of Communications at the presidency, GHOne, briefed the media about the president's visits on arrival at the Kotoka International Airport.
I think the first phase of the tour, and this tour saw us visiting our immediate neighbors, i.e. Togo, Burkina Faso and Cote d'Ivoire. The purpose of the trip was to, first and foremost, introduce the president to his colleague president as the new president of the republic. Key amongst the outcomes of the deliberations that took place over the 3-day period was, first and foremost, our president advocating for the opening of the Ghana-Togo border for a period of 24 hours as opposed to the 12 hours for which it currently stands. According to him, this would be in fulfillment of the ECOWAS protocols on the free movement of goods and persons. Once this happens, at least we'll bring it into full fruition, this particular ECOWAS protocol. Both countries have immense deposits of iron ore on the northern parts of our country. So an agreement was reached to exploit these resources to the benefits of our people.
In other news, the Minister of Roads and Highways, Kwesi Amoako-Attah, has directed contractors working on the Tema motorway runabout to consider working in the night to reduce traffic on that road. This, he said, will help speed up the work since vehicular movement in the night is slow. He made this known during a working visit to Tema.
The Tema municipality currently is faced with heavy vehicular traffic that has resulted in a slowdown of business activities in the industrial hub. The situation has arisen due to construction works on the Tema motorway roundabout. The motorway construction is costing government about 28 million Ghana cedis. In a working visit to the roundabout road expansion site, the Minister of Roads and Highways, Kwesi Amoako-Attah, admonished the contractor working on the road to consider working in the night in order to reduce traffic congestion on the stretch. He also urged the contractor to complete the projects on schedule. The road minister also visited some road and drain construction sites in the Tema East constituency.
As a country surrounded by francophone countries, it is very essential that most Ghanaians learn how to speak the French language. It was thus not surprising when President Akufo-Addo indicated that he will make the study of French compulsory in schools. But how well can the ordinary Ghanaian speak, and how important is the language to Ghanaians? We'll bring you some views from the streets.
Yes, madam, I speak French. Oh, I'm very, very good inside because I completed my education in French. So I can, as you can see, my English is not really, really good, but if it was in French, I'm really, really okay inside. Yes, as you can see, Ghana is surrounded with, if you take how many countries, Togo, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, especially, all of them are French countries. If they speak French, it's very, very important. They can communiquer with those people on the market or everything what they want to do. Je salue toutes les Ghanéens puisque je suis en Ghana maintenant. Ça fait un peu longtemps. Je pense que le Ghana est très très important et j'invite les Ghanéens vraiment à apprendre la langue.
No, I don't speak French.
Why don't you speak French?
Well, our time in elementary school add French to our curriculum. That is what I'm saying. It's very, very important because of our neighboring countries like Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Togo, Benin, and others. So it's very, very important.
Yes, I speak French.
How fluent are you?
Not bad. Not bad.
On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put yourself?
I'll put myself at 8. The French language is very important considering our position geographically as a country. Ghana is bordered by French-speaking countries, and then without the language it will be difficult to do business actually. In the case of communication with the other countries bordering the country and other countries of the world.
No, please, I don't speak French. Okay, in my basic school, I didn't start with French. I attended a public basic school, so there wasn't any French teacher. Going to high school too, I did business, so there was nothing like French at all. Having learned French and being able to speak French would help you in case you someday join those countries. You can relate well with them, and also being able to speak two languages, it's an advantage for employment outside the country and a whole lot.
Well, I can't talk about how fluent I am in French, but thankfully we speak English here. You're watching Newsroom on GHOne TV. We'll be back after this break.
Never look down upon yourself in life. You know, someone out there is praying vehemently for the things that you don't like about yourself. There are people out there who go to bed with empty stomachs. There are people in the hospital who are praying so hard for a miracle to happen. So if you have life, you have everything. My name is James Gardner, and I choose life.
Choose Life is a GHOne TV initiative promoting the value of life.
A moment of silence.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us.
My God!
Shut your eyes, Mary, and don't look at it no matter what happens.
It has begun! Maria! Enough, she died!
This is history. Saw your lights go out. Bling! And it's bark like a dog.
You are welcome back. You are watching Newsroom on GHOne TV with me, Abena, Owusu, Nyamekye. Here's a reminder of our top stories. Collation of unposted qualified graduates from the School of Allied Health Professionals in Kintampo pickets at the Health Ministry. We took you to Sangnarigu, where the DCE nominee Hajia Mariama Idrisu has been confirmed amid heavy security. In business, youth group petitions Security and Exchange Commission to investigate the circumstances under which the finance minister allegedly awarded a 2.25 billion bond to a US-based company. We'll bring you some sports later on, where Arsenal defeated Manchester United in the English Premier League. On the international front, 39-year-old Emmanuel Macron wins French elections and will be sworn in on Sunday. Now, Ghana's skyline is changing thanks to the erection of spectacularly crafted structures in the city. Ghana's estate developers are gradually dotting the skyline with imposing skyscrapers. This could perhaps connote an architectural evolution, but our focus today is the compliance of such buildings to fire safety. Ernest Lati takes a look.
Architecture in Ghana. If you go up maybe 10 floors, imagine you are putting, for each floor you are taking land. It means that you are putting building that will be on 10 floors on only one floor. We are utilizing space. Okay, so I don't think that if it's properly done, people should feel it's good. If you go up, you are able to conserve land, and then because we must use the land that we live on now, and then leave it for the future generation to also come and use it.
As beautiful as the skyline may be, it poses a serious challenge for firemen in their attempt to save lives during emergencies. At present, the Ghana National Fire Service has a 10-table ladder that can battle fire at a height of 6 floors. Anything beyond this, the firemen say, is a recipe for disaster. Nonetheless, some of these beautiful pieces of craft rise as high as 27 floors. The Ghana National Fire Service says it will need helicopters and other modern firefighting equipment for effective firefighting if any of these high-rise buildings catch fire. Some disasters in the past have tested the readiness and capacity of the Ghana National Fire Service to deal effectively with such emergencies.
What I'm seeing is that here, anybody at all gets up and he says high-rise building because he has the money. And he's able to, meander his way through the authorities. So the planning, the construction, and all that must go into a very powerful high-rise structure are all ignored. So the fears that people entertain, I think I see them as genuine fears because of the lack of the technical issues that are to what satisfied before these high-rise buildings are constructed. That is my beef.
High-rise buildings are architecturally beautiful, and some even say they are environmentally friendly. And so we were curious as to what goes into building these high-rise buildings that are springing up daily. The first step in building the structure is for the Town and Country Department to determine whether or not the height of the building is fit to stand on the site earmarked for construction in line with its zoning principles. Environmental assessment will be carried out by the Environmental Protection Agency to ascertain whether or not the soil and environment are conducive for such a towering structure.
Where will the materials come from? If you are using sand, if you are using gravel, if you are using aggregates, where will this be coming from? We'll be interested to know whether the source is sustainable, where they are taking it. That place is also well managed.
Based on the outcome of the soil test, a permit is granted for construction. In order not to compromise the integrity of the structure and ensure the highest safety standards, the architects will then take into consideration fire prevention and firefighting.
Now, one of the things we do, for instance, is to, like we said from the beginning, to compartmentalize our buildings so that when a building catches fire in whatever wing, people can move to another wing which is safe, and they can assess the fire safety measures that have been provided.
The professional engineers supervise the construction to ensure quality control.
Because when we design with loads. If I'm designing a school, the codes allow me to use a particular load. If I'm designing a church, the codes allow me to use a particular code. So when I'm changing the school to a church, right, I'm changing the purpose, I'm changing the functionality of the whole structure. I'll have to go for assessment again to see whether it can take the loads. We are not doing that.
Getting the right safety installations in the structure is a way of saving lives.
We look out for extinguishers, we look out for hose reels, we look out for sprinkler system, drenches, and automatic detection and suppression systems. We also look out for landing valves.
As these buildings rise to the horizon, the men and women who have been tasked to ensure safety must equally rise with them. Upgrading to stay relevant therefore becomes a necessity, starting with this simulation exercise. The remains of the Foreign Affairs building here is a wake-up call and a constant reminder of what happened in September 2009. Whether a mark of development or not, the building evolution has come to stay. Ensuring the safety of occupants must take it high on the priority list in our bid to beautify the city. Ernest Latte's report for GHOne News.
Now, the ban on drumming and noise-making takes effect from today and is expected to end on June 8th. The Ga Traditional Council has served notice that it will deal drastically with any individual or group of persons who flout its directive on the ban on drumming and noise-making this year. Bese Manche Ni Ayibunte said a task force has been constituted to work in collaboration with the Accra Metropolitan Assembly and the police service to monitor and enforce the ban.
The one-month ban on drumming and noise-making by the Ga State would commence from May 8 and end on June 8, 2017. The annual ban on drumming and noise-making precedes the Homowo Festival of the Gas. It is believed that a period is used to pacify the gods of the land, as well as pray for protection, progress, and welfare for the people and the country as a whole. But noise-making is part of everyday life, and in Ghana, it appears to be an important feature to particular groups at the markets, on the streets, churches, and events. The acting president of the Ga Traditional Council, Nidodu Insaki II, says during the period of the ban, there should not be any form of social gathering in the interest of peace, harmony, and national security, because any such breach would not be tolerated.
May 8, June 8, Achwa Sanku, Tafrache, Awobonyo, Afu Bonyo, Nyunkome, Okusunu, Okwachuni, Nyuwayeme, Nyumbakwe, Manami, Kwemietie, Naminuni, Okamabaye.
The PRO of the AMA, Numa Blaffer, who spoke to the news team, says anyone found culpable will be arrested and dealt with drastically.
There was this kind of dialogue between the traditional authorities and then the religious groups with the AMA, and some compromises have been made. So during this period, we set up a task force which is comprises of the AMA, the police, and then members of the traditional authority who go around to ensure compliance.
Afine akachawo kanyo tele nja achawo dabi bohun ahabo igbe ni efialo yo dana figba philippe oye egbe ni bo fon gbe mama pa gan tete fen fai ni o fen wo fi ekun mi wo kai wala wo kusun e ko wo fi kusun Sani mofia muni epa manene ekebula hawo kusun. Wanyemme osofuye titiriji wanyemme kame amemo amiko omla amwa amidi. No afine o task force baba this time because we can have wrong.
The news team took to the streets of Accra to speak to business owners whose daily sales depend on noise making.
Jala efita adungmai. So no wompo. She adungma siji atwa changer. Atwa ban, atwa day. Asumo no kotumo somo afe no tina atwa day. Can be afe. She wo ebanye sieke na bu. She atwa ban. Efe no ko. She wo wombo ni. No wombo banye wobo.
The music I play, it makes like customer. There are some people where they are passing, they can't read what I write on my shop, but when they hear the sound, they'll turn around, turn their face, they'll be seeing that I'm doing something over here. I will just take it like that to affect my business, but I will just take it like that, like a hardship. I will just take it like that, so I won't bother. I will know that it will affect my business, but I won't bother.
Work as our machine say again be get afan agbene wona programs wo ya watwa.
Homowo is celebrated in remembrance of the famine that once happened in the history of the Gan people.
Now, residents of Malambola are blaming local authorities for allowing the construction of several buildings at an old landfill site. According to residents, the area is not firm enough to support the construction of buildings. On Sunday, 8 people were severely injured when the roof of their church collapsed on them during service in the area.
The injured were congregants of Christ Life Ministries located on the Malam-Wejabola Road. Over 50 people are said to have been worshipping at the venue when the incident occurred. Kwabnatia, a resident, said about 8 people were injured, many of them women and children.
I'm ready to return. Let me just stop anymore. At me, I say, Obi Kutab, Nipako Kuta, Obi free her, Ednisani. Nam Dimirkas, Mishana, Adeneswapa. No, BBS, Nam Dimirkaki, Tim Duano, na Blabako or taxi driver or cranny. Musa Bako for Shenechi. Nam soon money Bako this year. Second one, so Sana Bako so Ediso, own team for Timra, ye nipamun, Sana, a big crowd paper, a dana see a children, a diabetes, a trauma bosso. 3 8 and 7. But the young Sian Obias went to Obiano to me solid Gina said, or Naka said to me, Ananti, yet Chomina free.
Many of the residents were quick to lay blame on local authorities, claiming they had allowed the construction of the church on an old landfill site. They say the area was not firm enough to support the construction of buildings. A unit committee member for the area, Francis Mensah, was however quick to denounce such claims, but rather laid blame on the doors of the pastor of the church for failing to comply with building standards.
We are near big problem. The only thing is, assembly na just yedi anywhere. My because maybe I hear some view people say Bola Susu he sit down. They don't know what they are saying, because when you look at Hong Kong, Kwashibu area, or it's Bola, Kokompe, that area is Bola. Even the Tipa, near a including Bola, you sit down or MIE. But we assembly, not just make sure say. Obi sit down with her. He passed the correct channel. Also for the compare, me site na wa no. Me je na wo opposite no. O sit down me ye compare. I have another a building there with 2 foundation. Still, they be maybe one.
The pastor of the church was unavailable at the time of our visit and could therefore not comment on the issue.
We have business news coming up right after this.
It's time to celebrate our mothers in a special way. They are the most awesome chefs who feed us with sumptuous meals our whole lives. Therefore, GHOne TV brings you the Big Mother's Day Cookout. participate with your mother, simply take a picture of your mother in the kitchen cooking her favorite dish or eating her favorite food. WhatsApp it to us on 050-903-5494. Selected viewers will have their mothers participate in the big Mother's Day cookout. It's going to be the biggest family cookout in Ghana, amidst music and games. Send us that picture now. The GHOne TV's Big Mother's Day cookout is brought to you by Nova Wellness Center, Onga, Mama's Helping Hand, Mama Cosmetics, Beauty from Nature, and EnviroFit. Enjoy fast and clean cooking. The Big Mother's Day cookout is powered by GHOne TV and supported by Live FM, Press, GA, and Star FM.
A moment of silence.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us.
My God!
It's time to celebrate our mothers in a special way. They are the most awesome chefs who feed us with sumptuous meals our whole lives. Therefore, GHOne TV brings you the Big Mother's Day Cookout. Participate with your mother. Simply take a picture of your mother in the kitchen cooking her favorite dish or eating her favorite food. WhatsApp it to us on 050-903-5494. Selected viewers will have their mothers participate in the Big Mother's Day cookout. It's going to be the biggest family cookout in Ghana, amidst music and games. Send us that picture now. The GHOne TV's Big Mother's Day cookout is brought to you by Nova Wellness Center, Onga, Mama's Helping Hand, Mama Cosmetics, Beauty from Nature, and EnviroFit. Enjoy fast and clean cooking. The Big Mother's Day cookout is powered by GHOne TV and supported by Live FM, Press, GA, and Star FM.
You're welcome back. A group calling itself Dynamic Youth Movement of Ghana is petitioning the Security and Exchange Commission to investigate the circumstances under which the Minister of Finance is alleged to have awarded $2.25 billion bond to Franklin Templeton Investments, a US-based company. According to the group, they do not understand why the bond, which was supposed to be a local bond, was assigned to a foreign company. We can now speak to Edward Tutor, the convener for the group. He has actually joined me in the studio. Edward, tell us, what do you want with this petition you sent to the Exchanges Commission, and what's your interest in this whole case?
Yeah, thank you very much. A very good afternoon to all your cherished viewers. On the 3rd of April 2017, the Finance Ministry announced that it actually issued a 2.25 billion bond. And right from that time, there has been so many conflicting stories. The minority in Parliament has leveled serious allegations of transparency against the entire process. The Ministry of Finance in a statement also said that they did the right thing. And as a matter of fact, they don't see why eyebrows should be raised. But we feel that as a group, the constitutionally mandated body to bring clarity on this matter is the Securities and Exchange Commission. And as a matter of fact, we took our time to read the Securities Industry Law, which was brought into force 1993. It was amended in year 2000. And just last year, 2016, a final amendment was made. And the law actually seeks to bring clarity on a lot of processes that anybody who wants to deal in securities must go through. And we realize that there has not been transparency. The Ministry of Finance has not been transparent in the entire process. So we petitioned the Securities and Exchange Commission to take this issue up, and they should make known to all Ghanaians. We want to know the bidding process. Who were the companies that actually expressed interest? One thing that is very surprising is that they said the loan is, the bond is a local bond. So it would have been expected that it was going to be subscribed by Ghanaians. But interestingly, a foreign company, Franklin Templeton Investments, was able to subscribe a whopping 95% shares of the bond. So the question we are asking is, did Ghanaians not know about it? Did they know about it and they didn't want to express interest? And if they don't want to express interest in the bond, the obvious reasons are two. Is it because they don't have confidence in the economy that if they should invest the money, government will not be able to have the necessary means to manage it well and pay back, or they don't have confidence in the government that is supposed to man the affairs of the nation? So there are so many issues.
Okay, and so you presented this petition.
Yes.
You would have to wrap up. But how soon do you expect to get answers from the Security and
Well, per the
Exchange Commission?
securities industry law, when the petition is filed, the Administrative and Hearings Committee of the Commission will have to sit on it within a month. So we are expecting that the Commission is going to do due diligence for the sake of posterity, for the sake of bringing clarity, and to protect the integrity of security industry as a whole in this nation. We trust that they are going to do a good job. And after 1 month, if we don't hear anything from them, the law actually provides that we can proceed to the High Court, the Commercial Division of the High Court, to go and pursue justice. And even after that process, when we realize that we are still not satisfied, we can go to the International Organization for Security Commissions and we can bring clarity to this matter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's Edward Tutor. He is the convener for a group calling itself Dynamic Movement of Ghana. They have petitioned the Security and Exchanges Commission over Ghana's 2.25 bond, and we'll bring you more on this subsequently. But that ends our business segment here. We can now bring you international news. To some international news now, and Macron will be sworn in as president on Sunday, May 14. The confirmation came from President Hollande after Emmanuel Macron won 20.7 million votes, firmly beating Marine Le Pen, who took about 10.6 million votes. Some world leaders have started wishing him well, including U.S. President Donald Trump and former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. We can now have a quick conversation and take you to France and talk to a political analyst based in Paris. Valentine, thank you for joining us. He joins us via Skype, and we can quickly have that conversation. Good to see you. You are in
Good morning.
France. Good afternoon. It's afternoon here in Ghana. But tell us,
good afternoon, sorry.
You are in France. What is the atmosphere like after the results were announced?
Yes, so today the first feeling is a huge relief, because the vast majority of the French people pushed back the far-right extremism candidate Marine Le Pen. And then secondly, I would say we have high expectations around the new president, Emmanuel Macron. Is coming, belonging from a new wave of political candidates, and we are really waiting for his new presidential term.
And clearly expectations are high, as you say, but looking at his age, what has become topical the world over, what do you think he will be able to achieve in France?
So it's hard to say what he'll be able to achieve in the next 5 years. But what we know is that he's been elected on a program where he's willing to make changes happen. He wants to shift what happened as to be the old political parties' manner of governing, and he's really willing to make these changes happen, so that for the sake of the French people and the French society.
But just before I let you go, tell us, how will this election have an impact? Which impact at all will it have on France's relations with the rest of the world, particularly the United Kingdom?
So I think that this election shows first a strong message for the European Union construction. Many countries among Germany, Italy, Spain were afraid of Marine Le Pen being elected. This is a strong message of France willing to continue the European Union construction. Then Theresa May gave a positive message to Emmanuel Macron, but I believe that the negotiation for the United Kingdom to leave the European Union is not going to be easier things after this election. So it's hard to tell how it's going to happen, but what we know is that it's a very good and positive message for the European Union construction.
All right, thank you very much. In the coming days, we'll get to know how all the issues pan out. And that is Valentine. He is a political analyst and he joined us from France. We can now bring you some sports news here on Newsroom.
And time for sports, because the good news is that the president of the Ghana Football Association, President Kwesi Osman Nyamekye, has been elected as the first vice president of the Confederation of African Football. And this is good news for Ghana, good news for everybody who knows that Ghana will be moving forward. So Nyamekye is now the second most powerful person on the continent when it comes to African football.
Kwesi Nyamekye has become the second most powerful person in African football after being named the first vice president of the Confederation of African Football. Nyamekye's appointment was approved by the CAF Executive Committee on Monday morning during its first meeting under the reign of new president Ahmed Ahmed. He is the first Ghanaian to rise to such position in African football, adding to his FIFA Executive Committee position. He was considered for the top position following the major role he played in Ahmed Ahmed's shocking triumph over the long-serving Issa Hayatou. Ahmed won because he was a good candidate. He came with a message which most people supported, and secondly, the wind of change that was blowing is embraced worldwide, including the world of football. Everyone thought that this was the time for change and nothing could stop the change. The Ghanaian will assist the legacy to run football on the continent for the next 4 years, marking his consistent rise in the administration of the game in Africa. The legal practitioner has been serving as a CAF Executive Committee member for almost a decade. Nyamekye was voted on the FIFA Executive Council for the second time after securing maximum votes in Addis Ababa in March. He has been serving as a CAF Executive Committee member for almost a decade. And insiders say the affable man is now a powerful asset on the continent and could rise to the position of CAF president in future. Constant Omari of the DR Congo has been named the second vice president.
So President Kwesi Osman Nyamekye is the biggest thing for Ghana, the second on the continent. Meanwhile, updates coming from CAF says that the president, Ahmed Ahmed, has refused to receive a salary because he wants everybody's salary in the CAF hierarchy to be published. And shifting attention to some EPL news, I know the Arsenal fans, if you're Ghana out there, the jinx has been broken. Mourinho suffered a 2-0 defeat to Arsenal. Wenger.
Arsene Wenger finally recorded a Premier League victory against Jose Mourinho as Arsenal kept their slim top 4 hopes alive with a well-deserved win over Manchester United. Granit Xhaka's deflected strike gave the hosts the lead at the start of the second half before ex-United striker Danny Welbeck scored his third in as many games against his former employers to secure a 2-0 win. Arsenal remains 6th despite the win, but will still have a hope gap on Manchester City in 4th. United still had a strong side despite making 8 changes from the Europa League semi-final first leg against Celta Vigo, but Mourinho's unblemished record against Wenger never looked like remaining intact. The likes of Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, GHOne Mata and Wayne Rooney came into the side for the visitors, with the latter guilty of missing a great first half chance. The recalled Rooney, who has scored more Premier goals against the Gunners than any other player, headed over an early Mata cross. Arsenal tested David De Gea soon after, but the Spaniard easily saved an Alexis Sanchez effort. The lively early start continued as Anthony Martial ghosted in behind the three-man Arsenal defense.
So every Ghana will be happy. Will Arsene Wenger also be happy? Hey, maybe we'll ask the questions later on. So that is all for sports. I'm handing over to Abena, Owusu, Nyamekye.
Thank you, Tony, and that's all we have for you on Newsroom today. My name is Abena, Owusu, Nyamekye. Thank you for watching.